All right, everybody, come on in, come on in. Thank you all so much for being here. Welcome back to another Wild Card Wednesday. Ask us anything. For anybody who doesn't know me, hi, I am Maggie, the substitute teacher. You may know me from my cooking channel. I am all about food and femininity. I love helping feminine women like you all attract and keep the masculine man of your dreams like I did. Lucy and I have founded the Finishing School for the Modern Woman. Finishing School for the Modern Woman is a privately taught 8-week Saturday school. We teach ladies of all ages how to be the best version of themselves. We talk about femininity, etiquette, elegance, and in addition to that, I do courses, consults, and coaching outside of YouTube. If you want to work with me, go to teachablemomentswithmaggie.com. Lucy, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, Maggie. Hi, everyone. I'm Lucy. I have a channel that last year was mostly for basic Spanish, but this year the content is going to be changed over to cultural elegance, femininity issues, specifically for more geared towards women over 50. And I'm happy to say that I already posted one video, and it was about talking in a relationship and communication, and how we really don't need to talk so much to convey our needs. It's a great, I got really good feedback, so I'm happy that I finally got to post. And I think I have another topic for next week. So I'm excited.
Oh my goodness, I am so excited too. So, no agenda tonight, you all. Wednesday night is your night. So, Lucy and I will give you our updates as you're coming in. We see everybody coming in. Please, if you have a question for me, if you have a question for Lucy, this is your night to ask us anything. We do these once a week as a way to give back, and it gives you all a taste of what it's like to work with us privately. But I am so excited. I need to go check out this content. I am 48. Lucy has shared that she is 57. So we are two older women in this space who have had marriage, long-term relationship, family, career, all of those things. And we just share from our perspective because we believe the older women should teach the young. So yeah, that communication piece is a huge one, especially for us ladies. I don't know if it was in class or in consult, I was just talking about how as girls or as women, we bond with the talking. We like to share, we like to give all the details. That's just something that we do. It's normal for us. However, men, and I will always say we are not equal. We are equally valued, but we are very different. If you ladies observe men, that's one of the things that we don't do is study them. Men recharge almost in solitude or in things that are like more productive and less talking. So just keep that in mind, ladies. If you see a man who's just kind of like in, in his own space, allow him to be who he is and how he is. So I do think I pinned the link to the chat, but I will also drop it here. You all can put your questions in the chat. You have an hour with us. You can also click the link. If you want to talk to us, you can be camera on or camera off. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. We have XDMC. Look at y'all coming in on Lucy's channel. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. It is still January. I'm holding on. He says, one love to the panel and chat. My wife and I are both over 50 and have been successfully married for 36 years. This just warms my heart. I love love. And I don't care what anybody says. I think that's the goal of even most women. Like we want to find, we want to be found by our husband and get out of this dating market and create our own life and create our own memories. All right, let's see. What are we saying here? Nonverbal language is the silent weapon for classy women. Lucy, I'm going to let you speak to this one first and then I'll respond.
Sorry, I'm tied up responding to the chat. Nonverbal language is the silent what was sorry, nonverbal language is the silent weapon for classy women. Exactly, because you don't need to say much. All you need to do is just sometimes look at him a different way, just touch him a different way, and they get the message. The talking, I was actually watching, there's this channel that I love. The channel is The Happy Housewife, and she actually had a topic similar to that, where she said that venting is also could be considered a form of disrespect because the man sees it as, so you're telling me all of these things. I am the problem solver, but you tell me that I know I don't need to solve your problem. Why are you coming to me? So it makes total sense. I suggest you watch it. She makes a lot of sense. I love her. Hacks that yeah, I also attached the Psy Hacks channel, a little of an excerpt about the communication factor, and I love him too. So again, just be careful about just talking to your man about just trivial things. It's good to have, on dinner, we talk and we share about what happened throughout, the day, but just limit that amount of information and just make it something that shouldn't require him to find a solution for it.
I absolutely love that. I do see a couple questions coming in, so we're going to get right to those. Those y'all on Instagram and TikTok, if you have questions, you can type them in the chat as well. But ladies, here's the takeaway. I always love to give you all tangible things. If you study men or if you know anything about men, not only am I a boy mom, I was married and also now in a long-term relationship, but men listen for a problem to solve. So like Lucy said, they're natural problem solvers. So men find it very futile to just, have all of this detail that they can't do anything about. So just like, I love that. Show respect and be mindful. Save a lot of those extra details for your girlfriends or somebody that wants to hear it. Men don't. It's actually a burden to them because now you've dumped all of this on their lap. Either you're bringing your problems from work or from outside or your social circle or whatnot to them. They can't do anything about that, and so their mind is now focused on what you've just laid in their lap instead of being on their purpose. And we believe in traditional gender roles and relationships here. I always give the disclaimer, I know it's not for everyone and people can do what they like, but if you do believe in being a helpmate, you should want your man to be in tip-top shape. That's what my man says. Okay, so let's see. The first question I see here is from Jared. Hello, Jared. He says, why are women, I'm not sure, why do women project judgmental views onto guys who don't fit their expectations? Okay, if I understand the question, we all have predispositions about what we want and don't want. And yes, it's fair to generalize, but I would say this, ladies, you've heard me say this before. The purpose of dating is to determine if this is a suitable match for marriage or long term. It's not to have, if you want to do casual or do whatever, hot girl summer, that's your prerogative. But over here, we coach ladies that actually want something meaningful. Aw, thank you so much, Wrench Turner, for the $10. I appreciate that. The Cash App. Thank you, Wrench Turner. I'll put you in the ticker in a moment. So I want to say, because I want to speak to the women. I want to answer the man, but I want to speak to the women. But I will, since you asked. When you say, why do women do this? I wouldn't be worried about a woman that you're not seriously vetting. With respect, I would say men put us into categories. You're either wife material or you're not. And we don't talk about the not here. I acknowledge that it exists, but I don't really have any advice for that. So if you are seriously vetting a woman, either she's ready or she's not, either she sees you as husband material or she doesn't. I guess I would advise, if I could, then you move on to a woman who does have respect for you. Likewise, I would tell the women, don't worry about what another man is doing that is not vetting you for long term or marriage. You only need one. That's what the late great Kevin Samuel said. So you present yourself as wife ready if that's what you want, and a man will vet you to see if it's a suitable match. They ask, we either accept or we exit with grace. But I think worrying about what other people are doing, we would just really be distracted with that. That's what I would say. Lucy, what would you say?
I agree. And that is one great indication for the man to watch out for that behavior. Because if she's willing to project those judgmental views about things that really, um, they don't know you, they don't know every man that they see. Again, it seems to be a very immature way to look at life. So there's probably other issues involved with that behavior. So again, what is it? The lion does not worry about the opinion of the sheep. That's how maybe you should see it. Our lions, our men, should not worry about the peanut gallery, because again, it's that one special person that you should be worried about.
I love that. Thank you so much. We got Lomiji in the chat saying, hello. Any tips to gently let a man down when he is flirting and doesn't know you're married? I think this is super sweet. So, the premise of this, ladies, when a man sees someone that he's interested in, he will pursue. Remember that. So I've heard this term before, and I've used it in my communication classes, something called the compliment sandwich. Okay, so it's basically a way of delivering bad news between two compliments. What I don't support, ladies, is shaming a man, embarrassing a man, making him feel like he was a fool, because then they stop pursuing, and then we have these other complaints that men don't pursue. So what I would do, ladies, like, I'll use myself as an example. Sometimes people, may pay a compliment or say, something nice. I always thank them first and give some type of compliment. Oh, thank you so much. That's kind of you to say, or I really appreciate the compliment. However, I'm spoken for, or in your case, you're married. Thank you so much. That's a very generous compliment. Unfortunately for me, well, not unfortunately for me. Unfortunately, I'm married, so I would just say, and I would leave it with something positive, just like, but I'm sure, you're going to find the woman that, is worthy of such a, thoughtful man or something like that. It could just be short and sweet, but just leave it on a positive note, but make sure you communicate that you're not available. What would you say, Lucy?
Exactly. Courtesy doesn't take away from being feminine. What you can say is, you thank him. Thank you so much. You are so kind. And you can go back to, I remember when I first met my husband, he used to say this to me. And right there, that you're saying, I have my protection, I have my covering, and you let them know that maybe they didn't, maybe in their minds, maybe they didn't realize that you were married. So I remember when I first met my husband, that was something that he used to tell me. So thank you so much. It brought really beautiful memories when we first met. Have a great day, and then you move along.
Absolutely. I love that. All right, I'm scrolling through again. You all can ask us anything. We are here. to answer your questions. We've got Gail at Night in the chat, the hardest working moderator in these YouTube streets. I don't know if there's a channel she doesn't moderate for. We got David Hunty coming in from Hawaii. Aloha to you. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Jaleel. As always, thank you so much for being here. I saw someone made a comment about this is a dual stream. Yes, we try to cast a wide net. So I am Maggie, the substitute teacher, on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and then we are also simul streaming on Lucy's channel, so you all can catch us wherever you are. All right, let's see. Just scrolling to see. I see you all greeting. Just want to prioritize the question if you want to put a Q in front. Or, okay, here we go. We got a question from Bella. Bella says, what do you say if just not interested in an approaching man? Are we saying that a man is approaching and you're not interested? So it's similar to you're already taken, but if you're just not interested and someone is, making his intentions known, I would give the same response. I would just say, thank you so much, but unfortunately, I'm not available at this time, but I wish you the best in your search. I don't know the situation. Maybe if it's a date and you don't want date number two, or he's approaching you and you're just, you're thinking about work and nothing else. But I would still be gracious, be complimentary, and just be clear. What would you say, Lucy?
I agree. You can say thank you so much. Again, you are so kind. But at this time, I my life is I have a different vision about what I want to do right now. I thank you again for, I'm not sure how they would be approaching. That would be interesting. How are they approaching you? Are they making comments? Are they coming to you? Again, I think somebody in the comments said about uh, the way that you behave. You don't necessarily have to say it. You can also, you have a way to not show any interest to him. And if it's too pushy, then you can say, you know what, I'm not interested. Thank you so much. And then walk away.
All right, fantastic. Okay, a man approaching, absolutely. Yes, and I would love to know. I mean, we love to teach the ladies here, but we have a lot of men who support our channel. So if you all have any tips on what works well and what doesn't, please chime in. All right, so I see a question from the condemned. He says, "What do you think of the overly subtle choosing signals women give nowadays, which includes slight glances, putting their hair behind their ear, and my personal favorite, showing that neck?" Absolutely. Ladies, body language is a huge part of the feminine journey. I've taken lots of classes because this is something I had to work on. I had to really work on slowing down and being more elegant because elegance isn't rushed, and I would just move through like a bull in a china shop because this fast-paced world that we live in kind of, commands that. I think that is incredibly tasteful, timeless, classic. And ladies, those simple, subtle things go a long way. Eye contact, and even like the little touches, just like touching, your neck, your chin, or, just something that's kind of like it draws attention without being overtly revealing. The neck, what did we learn? The places on a woman's body that are more delicate than a man, shout out to the watch, are dainty, or hopefully daintier wrists. Our neck, we talked about that in one stream. Of course, the waistline, struggle for me, but anyway, the waistline, the ankles, they're just part of a woman's frame, a woman's silhouette that is supposed to be more delicate than a man. So when you can, not enhance, but when you can, I don't know, what's the word I'm trying to think of? When you feel comfortable and confident with those things, like men really, they really like it. That's what I'll say. What would you say, Lucy?
I love him. Choosing signals is what has made the world go round from many, many, centuries ago till now. So I think it's great. Subtle signals are more feminine than just being out there and telling the guy that you're interested, that is very masculine. A woman does not say that you're interested in the guy like that. The subtleness, the mystery is what drives our men crazy.
That is so true, ladies. Less is more. And, I've heard it. Some women, they approach men, God forbid, they propose to men. It is just so anti what I think is natural. And so just be careful because you're setting yourself up to continue to lead. And I don't think when you get our age, you're going to be wanting to lead. Wrench Turner says, is social media etiquette something you two have rolled into your curriculum? As a man, it's almost an immediate no if there are red flags on social media. Yes, I believe, was it one of our last streams? We have so many. We talked about this social media. And ladies, especially you younger ladies who have only known social media, believe it or not, there was a time in 1842 when we actually had conversations, when you actually introduced yourself to people, and only your small circle of friends knew what you were up to. So again, social media is a great tool. We're using it here, but there absolutely is an etiquette. And I do believe we have so many courses and offerings, but yes, we cover it. And we're going to talk about it as well. This summer, we're doing an etiquette summer school for kids. So you all can stay tuned for that. Several of you all have asked us to roll into the curriculum or roll into what we offer, something for kids. So stay tuned. That will be Saturdays in July. But yes, ladies, if well, maybe not your mother, if your man, his mother, his boss, his pastor, or, whoever his mentor is, cannot look at what you have on your social media without, it's just not worth it. Just take it down. And I don't know how many times we've said it, but I'll say it again. The men are always watching, ladies. And I see so many women make mistakes that when they become aware of it, oh, I'll clean it up then. Oh, I'll submit then. Oh, I'll get on the program when I know he's interested in me. By then it's probably too late because men are always watching and they survey for a while from a distance because they are looking for consistency. We're already chaotic just as women. They know that, but they don't want to see that, oh, you're just putting on. They see right through it, and then you've disqualified yourself. What would you say, Lucy?
I agree. If you need it for business purposes, that's great, but it's gotta be kept business for business reasons. Anything else, it's always important to remember that the world is watching, even if it's private, because somebody can tag one of those pictures to somebody else, and then that picture gets around and you get found out. So again, it's you gotta use social media intentionally and make sure that if you're looking for that significant other, that you that your social media doesn't show that you are searching for validation and attention, because that's a red flag.
Yes, that is so good. So again, keep your questions coming. I did see a comment here from XDMC because I wanted to add on to the social media. He said, I found that one of the things that helped make my marriage successful was that I had to learn women will see things totally different from a man, and I had to have patience with that. Ladies, they give us a lot of grace when they love us because believe me, as I was told, Maggie, you're kind of a lot. Okay, I accept that. However, but there are some things that are kind of like a deal breaker. Men, I think Lucy said it in one stream, men want to be our heroes. They want to be the one that we light up for when they say, you look beautiful. If you need everybody to like that, if you need everybody to tap that, if you need everybody to be like, oh my goodness, okay, it's, a celebration, an anniversary, something special. But if every day, every day, and this is coming from someone who I do post every day, but I try to make sure that my posts, they're either informative, educational, helpful in some way. Of course, we have fun. But I would just say this, ladies, make sure, scroll on your own social media. If every picture is a picture of you, I would I would take a look at that, because what does it say that you are solely focused on yourself and you want people to be focused on you? Are you volunteering? Are you learning a new skill? Are you doing anything that would be, what did we say? Useful to a man. Let's see what other questions y'all have. Leanne says the best way I've heard it put was use social media intentionally, not emotionally. Shh. Y'all, and these coming to the internet to rant, I don't even know. Y'all, the real MTR. I'm sorry. MTR is on Instagram. I have been thinking about you. We have something planned. Oh my gosh. Okay, get it together, Maggie. For those of you all who don't know, Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews is a huge supporter of the work that we do. And Lucy and I are planning our finishing school graduation. And I was going to reach out to you to see if you wanted to stop by and, say some words to the ladies that are graduating the program. So I'm so excited. But anyway, MTR is in the building.
Hi,
What would you say
MTR.
to that,
Hi,
Lucy?
MTR.
Everybody says hi. Y'all go over to Instagram and say hi to MTR. Okay, what would you add to that, Lucy?
I think, yeah, I mean, social media, you just have to be careful, especially because there are ways that some men can direct message you, and you get into a situation where you don't want to put yourself in that environment if you're thinking about your uh, your reputation. Again, you have to protect your reputation.
Oh my goodness. And ladies, that reputation is so huge. I think it was last week we did the little scorecard. I'm working on a version 2. I got some really good feedback, so I'll be updating it. But if you all remember, one of the qualities on there that men look for, and it's important to them, is your reputation. Ladies, you are going to be the feminine asset to his masculine brand. And remember, if you are being vetted by a man that's either like firstborn or going to be the heir of, whatever his father had or the business, you're not just going to be able to do whatever you want to do. You actually have to represent him and represent him well. It's so important. And yes, we would love that. I'm working on some things, ladies. And the Clue channel says here, I'm guilty of that, Maggie. Rant streams. All right, I'm going to give you a little Maggie spanking. Stop it. Absolutely stop it. There is no need to take to the internet for ranting. Y'all, the internet is forever. We are all leaving a legacy. What do you want the world to say about you when you're gone? So let me give you some, love after the spanking. If you have a bad day or somebody makes you mad, we all go through it. If you think I'm always, happy all the time, life happens to all of us. But what I have learned to do is withdraw. So some days I may not stream. Some days I may just have to shut it off, listen to some music. I don't know, find something that soothes me until I can get myself. You've got to find out what works for you. It could be journaling. It could be going for a walk. Maybe you just need to get it out. Maybe you voice record yourself privately. Or if you need to, yell at a screen, just record it to your phone and leave it for yourself. But do not by any for whatever reason, no more internet rants. Not here, not now, not ever. What would you say to that, Lucy?
I agree, and it also allows it it shows that the man has gotten out of his square. Usually, men are centered, they're logical, they're emotional. You know how to hold it in, and you know the circles where you can share those rants. So again, sometimes we think that social media and our followers are our friends. And for the most part, yes, but there's going to be one or two that can take that information, clip it, and put it in a way that it could create more problems than necessary.
Absolutely. All right, you all, what other questions do you all have? Yes, Gail at Night says the internet never forgets. It's so true. Man, you guys give me so many ideas. Maybe I should come up with another little, I don't know, cheat sheet or scorecard or something because I realize there's so many things that ladies, especially young ladies, just don't know or just weren't taught. But I grew up in a generation where you didn't do anything outside that brought shame to your family. So it's always top of mind for me that my children may be watching, my mom, my dad, the community may be watching. There was a responsibility that we had to others. So it's not just me and my mad, you know, morning and I'm just going to go off and cry and whatnot. And then I can hear it now, Maggie, what is this? I don't want that. So just think about the legacy that you want to leave because we all are leaving a legacy. The condemned says stop using TikTok for therapy sessions with the internet. Well, then there's that. All right, we're about halfway through. Let me know
It's
if you all.
also
Yeah.
these therapy sessions on TikTok. Um, it's 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 really interesting to see because we, for the most part, we women are followers, and some of these girls are only seeing that example to use it for the future because that's what they see. So again, just because somebody else doesn't mean that you have to do it. In fact, men in modern day are looking for that woman that's got that individualism, that has her own mind and doesn't do what everybody else is doing. So again, remember that. Just whatever you're seeing in TikTok, do the opposite. Don't even think about it because, again, do you want to be like the rest or do you want to be that special one?
I absolutely love that for a couple of reasons, ladies, and I'll share with you. If you're going to be on this journey of, femininity, being the best version of yourself, trying to get wife ready, you are going to swim upstream. That's why I'm so intentional about, this community that Lucy and I are creating for like-minded and marriage-minded and relationship-minded women. So just know there are going to be times where people are going to look at you like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't say that. I cannot tell you how many comments I get about my look or whatever. And some lady was like, "You should let me do your lashes," and I was like, "My husband. Well, maybe my man likes them natural." So just know that not everybody's going to cheer you on, and that's okay because you only need one. And the other thing, ladies, men are looking. Remember, if you remember that scorecard, one of the qualities on there was well, two of them, agreeable and teachable. So if you're always going with the crowd, if you always have to be like one of the girls or what everyone is doing, that man is thinking, "Oof, I'm gonna have to, what's gonna happen if I say no, I don't want to take this vacation, or no, we don't need to spend that money, we don't need to eat out again, let's cook something at home." Is it going to be a problem because you're so used to doing what everybody else does that you think, which is not real? But show that you have some independent thought and you're willing to go against the grain. What would you add to that, Lucy?
That is exactly right. It's that there's a saying, what is it? Birds of a feather flock together. So when a man sees you with a group of women that are not as feminine, are not as elegant, are going about in town and just creating chaos, even though you might be the one in the corner, they're going to question, why is she with these women? Why is she around them since she seems to be different? Again, sometimes it's better to be alone than with a group of people that will get you in trouble, or not even to get you in trouble, but that are going to make you look differently. Again, it goes back to reputation. What is the reputation of those other five women that you're hanging out with? Are they do they have a nice reputation that your husband can say or your significant other can say, yeah, I trust them and they're going to be okay? Or is he going to be concerned that when you go out with the girls, that you don't know if you're going to get a call at 2 o'clock in the morning because they're in trouble somewhere? So again, it's important to think about those things.
Absolutely. Okay, I see a question from the condemned. He says, do you explain to women in your school that a man on his purpose will not give her the attention she feels like she deserves all the time? This is a really good question. So the school that we teach is about femininity, etiquette, and elegance, women being the best version of themselves. Now, I'm not going to play any games here. I know 99.9 of us want relationships. So that's kind of what we do in like the coaching and the consults that I do, but we can absolutely talk about it now. So ladies, a man creates the life that he wants for himself. And then when he is ready to take on the responsibility, he chooses a suitable woman to help him in his purpose. So a man is going to have his purpose before his pleasure. So when we think about relationships, we shouldn't think about, oh, I've got this man, I've got this husband, I've got this boyfriend. It's going to be, happy, happy, joy, joy every day. That's not real. There are going to be times when he is going to be heads down, focusing. Maybe he travels for work. Maybe he's, I don't know, closing deals. Maybe he's working an extra shift. Maybe he's just tired and he wants to just shut it down. I mean, there's multiple reasons. So our job, if you want a masculine man, is to one, understand his purpose and find out ways that you can be useful to help him. And sometimes that help is just sandwich and silence. Sometimes that's what it is. But also realize that, like we talked about earlier, when men want to recharge, a lot of times they retreat or they kind of decompress, and they may want to do that alone. It's not a knock on you. Don't make it always about you. He's not, like a little puppy to be, at your attention all the time. So you keep yourself occupied doing productive things, and when he comes up for air, believe me, if you are the woman that you need to be, he will come looking for you. That's what I would say, Lucy. What would you say?
I agree. And that also has to do with being wife ready. When you're ready to be a wife, you understand that your husband is going to be out there looking for ways to making your life beautiful. Again, your job is not to feel like you deserve all the time. Your job is to be ready that when he comes home, you have a warm meal, you have a quiet place, you have a clean house, you have a place where he's not going to want to go anywhere because that is his cocoon, where he knows that he can relax and not worry about the world because you're taking care of him in the house. Your job is to make sure that you know how to make yourself happy, because again, a man is not, nobody else can make you happy. You are the one that is going to find ways to self develop, to create that world that will work for both of you in the home.
All right, well, we've got somebody in the back, somebody new to the channel. At least for me, I see XDMC. How are you? Go ahead.
I'm blessed. One love to you, Lucas. It's been a while, a long time, because I haven't been in these YouTube streets in a while. Because sometimes, YouTube is like going through a dirty car wash. I had to get away from some of this stuff. So it's so refreshing to see what you ladies are doing. And I pretty much, the condemned man question touched me. So I wanted to come on it because I can relate to that question and understand that question as far as with my wife. Now, 36 years, and we've been married, and I say successfully, but it did take work and it did take sacrifice. And that sacrifice, one of those sacrifices was time with me, with the type of work that I do, and traveling a lot. And I wasn't there as much as I know she wanted me to be there, but it was more about the quality time and the quality time that I gave to my daughters. So it wasn't the amount of time, it was the quality time. And she was okay with that. Especially when you go, hey, I have to go take care of this. Are you okay with the magic refrigerator? You know, the one you could put food in, but you never pay to put the food in. It's always full. You know, are you okay with the magic credit card? You know, the one you charge, but you don't never have to pay it. If you're okay with that, then let this magic, you know, that sacrifice, that's what it's about. You know, and she gives me my space to be, I don't know if you could tell, but I am an artist. And artists are some really, we can be very difficult people to live with. And she gave me, and gives me that space to say, let him be in his art mode. That's what she called his art mode. Even though I know she's saying it's something else. But hey, let me be in his art mode. And it was work. You know, it was work, but it wasn't hard work for something that you want. And I look at what I have now and what we built, and we almost at the empty nest. Got one daughter moved out, and you know, college grad doing a thing, love it. You know, and I look back. Is there some things I would have done differently? Not a whole lot, but there's some. And then they say like, my wife was with me when I had no money. So I know she was there for the ride. You know, now that I have some, it's all good. You know, she's the one that's supposed to be there with me. She would make her sacrifices also. They say rich or poor, forget that. We don't want that. But rich or poor, sickness and health. And let's talk about the sickness and health. Almost 4 years ago, it's like 3 years ago, I would have never thought that I would be battling for my life and I had cancer. I'm 3 years cancer free. And when I had it, it was bad. It was, you got 3 to 6 months. And when I tell you ride or die, what she did, and again, I was a difficult patient, not just a person. I was difficult, you know, because I got my pride. But she stood up, took that. No, we gonna beat this. We gonna make this happen. And she did. And I feel bad that I was surprised. I know it sounds weird, but I felt bad that I was surprised that she was able to do that and that she stood there with, because I'm a person, people don't do things for me. I'm always helping others. It was weird to see her come to the back. And then I've actually seen other people, women, marriages will go, oh man, he's going through this, he's going that. I'm out. I'll wait for the insurance money. And unfortunately, I've seen that with my own eyes, but not my ride or die, not my boo. My baby was there, you know. So I just wanted to share that again, like, because that man made me think about that, because there's a lot of women that don't know the meaning of sacrifice. Men too, but I see that, you know, like, oh, we were supposed to go out tonight. Well, I got this business meeting, or I got this project rush online or whatever. You want me to not do that? You want the lights to stay on? You like that bag, right? That you went here. So once they understand that, you know, it's all good, you know. So I haven't been on anybody's live in a long time, but seeing you two sisters up here and what y'all putting out, and seeing the questions, I had to come up and tell my story. And like, the one thing I will ask your guys, you ladies' opinions on, it's because I said I had to learn women see things different from men. I had to learn that. And I also had to learn patience in the fact that I know with a man, if I'm talking to my boy and we sharing stories, that story, the stories we tell each other takes a minute or two. No long. Now I know with a woman, I better grab some coffee and get ready, because I'm gonna get the whole cliff note, the whole thing that it's, and then I have to make sure I pay attention, because if I don't, I'm going to get asked that question that you women ask all the time. You wasn't listening. Okay, what did I say? Uh-oh. I better be able to say what she said. So I am listening. I make sure that I do listen. But there was a something that I let my wife listen to, and a few other women, and it was with the case, the Jonathan Majors case, where he said, "I want my woman to be like Michelle Obama and Coretta Scott King." And most of the women that I know that heard that was like, "I dare him. Yeah, this is an outrage." Now, most of the men that I spoke to who heard that, all they heard was that the man asked for a supportive woman. That's what, and then I said, "Wow, it's funny how we both listened to the same thing, but heard something totally different." So, and I leave it at there. Leave it there. I'm running my mouth more than you women up here.
Thank you so much for coming up. My first time seeing you here. Hopefully, it's not the last. I will drop you back down and then Lucy and I will try and
Yeah,
answer.
yeah.
But thank you so much,
Thank you.
XD. Oh my
Well,
goodness. Wow. Okay, that was so good to hear from the men. Again, I'll drop the link in the chat if anybody wants to come on camera on or camera off. First of all, XD, I just want to say I am so glad and grateful that you beat cancer. Cancer has touched my family too, so I understand the struggle. And one of the things that I wanted to say, and shout out to your wife, but ladies, that's what wives are supposed to be. It is a decision and it is a duty, and those vows mean something. A lot of times, so women, you will have an opportunity to, pair up or partner, not in that kind of way, but be chosen by a man either at the beginning or while he's still on his journey or when he's arrived. And I think I said this before in another stream that when you hear a man talk about his wife that has been there through thick and thin, that believed in him when he had not arrived yet, you cannot compete with that. You just cannot. Men take that loyalty very, very seriously. So ladies, that's why it's so important you choose either to pair up early and get out of the dating market, and then you'll reap the benefits, on the back end if you are patient and able to wait, or if you either marry later or marry older or with a man that's already arrived, it is his way or the highway because he's already made himself. And so he's not going to want to be, 20 questions from you. So I would say that just be mindful of that. And I guess, why do women have all of the details? I don't know. That's just who we are and how we were socialized. I try to cut it short when I'm with my guy, or at least lead with the question first or the point first, and then wait for him to ask me for extra details. So that's what I would say. What would you say, Lucy?
Can you hear? Oh, sorry. I was wondering where you were, XDMC. I'm so glad that you're okay now. I am so happy that your wife was next to you, as it should be when we are married. We are the first ladies in our marriage, and usually we are the ones behind you and next to you, especially when things are hard. And I think that we have, unfortunately, we have learned that because we are an over consuming um, society, we learn how to toss things before you stay with them and go through the hardships, because again, that's what fuses you as the marriage, as the couple. There is no better person to be with you in the hard times than the person that you married, than the person that has been with you in the good times and the bad times. So again, that's amazing. It's great to see 36 year in modern day. It's amazing. And it's also up to us older women to support the women that stay in those marriages as it should be, unless it's something like physical, something really bad, there's no reason why you take on those vows and then all of a sudden, because you're bored or you're not happy, you walk away. It's not, it shouldn't be that way.
Well, we have someone else in the back who needs no introduction. Thane Mithra, the floor is yours.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Maggie. Hello, Lucy. I do
Mithra.
apologize in advance for acting a fool in chat yesterday. We had too much fun in the cooking show. I can see Aaron Laura is here. You missed all the inside jokes yesterday, Maggie. It was funny as hell. You missed them all. Every last one of them. Just a heads up. Billy is somebody who was lurking in the chat. It's somebody you know very well. It's their nickname. That's up to you to figure out. I'll give you a hint. Go over that stream and go over the conversation again. You'll figure out who it is. Hello, Gail. I'll find you, Gail. I know I've missed you too. Let me get to the point, cause I want to be succinct and not take up too much of your time. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. You have a 3 decade relationship, and you're hearing how it's not work. It's work, and it's not Disney fluffy flowers, roses, and rainbows. It is pain. It is loyalty. It is respect. It is commitment, and it is not fun. Because the long-term goal will supersede what you want immediate in the short term. I keep on going back to the point where you have wise people like Maggie and Lucy and XDMC who has a very successful relationship. Those are the people who should be emulated. Do people ever stop to ask themselves why you do not see mass communication in social media about successful relationships? All you see is mental illness problems. Woe is me, 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 me. You, I even see where happy wives who are happy to be wives being lambasted on social media. Where does society go wrong? Where fathers are being shamed, families are being shamed, and debauchery is being celebrated. And we very smart people, my dad will call us clever fools, sit there and we soak it up. I thought of an analogy that I wanted to put across. I like my environment clean in my house. I like it clean. I love the smell of potpourri. I love the smell of pine sol. If I can't faint a smell tinge of bleach or pine sol or potpourri, it's a fight because mentally I know I'm gonna be discombobulated, and I know when I know I'm getting discombobulated, is my environment is dirty. That tells me, okay, stuff is not right in your brain. Make sure it's clean. My brain is the same way. I like to keep it clean. So I'm gonna ask you, ladies and gentlemen, a question. If you like your environment clean, if you like your house clean, especially for the ladies with this analogy, would you like it when you constantly open the door and the thanes of this world walk in with muddy boots, tear up the place? That's what you do when you get to social media on a daily basis. You go get sleep, focus on yourself. You get up and bling bling. Let me let this mental garbage into my brain. Your house is no longer clean. Now, smart people do the requisite work of going to clean that mental noise. You clean your house. But why keep on cleaning your house to open the door to let the mud back in? It's just a question. It's an analogy I thought of recently. Now, for the men in the chat, we know this very well. Pain is a man's life. We learn to live with pain. We learn to master pain because pain builds character and discipline. The pain of discipline for a man weighs a feather. The pain of mistakes for a man weighs tons. So men who master pain love discipline. Even I struggle with that. But guess what? I'll take the pain of discipline over the pain of my mistakes any day. And that should apply to everybody. Because then again, if you're not living cuckoo land with Cocoa Puffs and chocolate, when challenges come, you're not going to be able to handle the challenges. XDMC's story is very touching because all I heard was love, respect, and resilience. 10 over 10 can recommend, always. And we'll get that joke. The point is, like I constantly harp on people. I've said this to the gentleman in the lead's show over and over. I would rather take a woman's respect over her love. I don't care if you love me. I will take your respect any day. Because there are days you'll wake up and my socks stink. You ain't going to be loving me then. Or I sawed logs. You told me I was snoring a little bit too much this time around. You've heard it all. All of y'all in relationships know exactly that when you start to really getting to know somebody, there are things that will piss you off. Excuse my French. So, ladies, if you think love is the end all be all, I would say I do not think so. For men, loyalty and respect come first. That is the yardstick. And then lastly, no one is entitled to a good man. You're not entitled to anybody or anything. You have to earn it. You have to want it. You have to work for it. It's not going to be handed to you. Because when people get handed things, you misuse, disrespect. Think about it. When you've worked your tail out for something, victory is sweet. Apply the same to their mindset when it comes to relationships. All right. I have a lot more thoughts, but I'll save them for another day. Let me get off my soapbox for today, but I had to pull up because I really loved what XDMC said. And yes, I was looking in the background. I was not going to pull up. I decided to. Because when wise people speak, I like to champion that. And actually applaud him for pulling up and telling people what it is. That's all I had. I'll be in the bushes watching.
We know you are always in the bushes watching, and we appreciate you so much, Thane. Every time you come, like I told you, your words of wisdom to me are priceless. And this community, we have such strong support from the men, and we appreciate that. I need that. I think the ladies need that, and I definitely want that. So we encourage. All right. Yes. Thank you, Thane. Thank you, Thane. So we are going to wrap up. Did I get to all of the questions? I think there was one. Dios had a question saying, how come ladies aren't encouraged to build character? It's rare that it even comes up. So we will close out on this. You're right. And Lucy and I are trying to make our drop in the bucket by the work that we do. My man actually told me earlier today, there are no other women on the internet doing Ask Us Anything. So at least that we know of. So we are here to, one, hopefully live by example. And Lucy and I are both, divorced and then in second relationship or second marriage. Lucy's remarried. Sharing what we've done right, what we've done wrong, and hoping to pay it forward. But yes, ladies, that character lasts a lifetime. Men know we're going to age. They know the beauty is going to fade eventually. But if you are a woman of good character, that is such a priceless gift and your legacy. What would you say to that, Lucy?
Thank you for that gift, Thane Mithra. You know, that is something that we know that we're not entitled to. We know that we're not expecting it, and then you give us that gift to support what we're doing. We appreciate you. We appreciate all of you for just being with us for this hour, just to listen to two older women share our experiences and share our perspective on how we see the modern world affecting the younger society.
I couldn't even get the banner open. I just, Thane, there are no words. You continue to come through, and just your presence. I am so incredibly grateful. Everybody put Thane in the chat if you don't mind as we close out. For the $200, for all of the support that you've given, but for me, most importantly, your presence, your protection. When you watch, whether you come up out of the bushes or you stay in the bushes, I I feel so honored that you would stop by our little corner of the internet, and all of you all. But I'm just incredibly grateful. I'll never get used to it. And thank you. Oh, thank you so much. So, yes, we are here for you all every week on Wednesdays. Ask Us Anything. Lucy's been joining me on Fridays for the Wives Club on the other channel. The Finishing School for the Modern Woman is currently in session, so enrollment is closed until we open up again. I saw some students in the chat. If you want to shout yourself out, you can. And then stay tuned. Once we wrap up this session, we will have the Etiquette Summer School for kids. The Finishing School is for ladies 16 to 60 plus, and then the Etiquette Summer School for kids will be 5 to 15. So stay tuned for that. We are determined to make a difference in any way that we can. Neither Lucy or I have daughters, so we feel very passionate about helping the women. So thank you, XD, for coming up. Thank you, Thane, for coming up and the contribution. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, MTR, for watching on Instagram, and thank you all. Until next time. Bella says she's a finishing school student. Absolutely. Yes, it's always a good day when Thane comes through. I feel the Mufasa love from the bushes.
Thank you,
Thank
Wrench
you,
Turner, for your contribution as well.
And see, I love Lucy. Thank you, Wrench Turner. You kicked it off. I didn't even get you updated, but we appreciate the men over here. All right. Thank you all. Thank you all. And until the next time, we will bid you a good night.
Adios.
Adios.